Good morning. The Big Buddy program has been on this show many times in the past, and they're here today to talk about their 17th annual Day of the Mentor event. Joining me throughout the course of this hour, Kristen, pronounce your last name for me.
Lozana.
Lozana?
Yes.
Kristen Lozana, you're the Big Buddy mentoring manager.
I'm mentoring director, yes.
All right. Lana Venable is a member of the Big Buddy board and the ExxonMobil spokesperson. She'll be joining us a little bit later on, as will Michael Tipton, who's the president of Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation, and from what I hear, a Dancing for Big Buddy star dancer in 2014, right?
That's correct.
I envy him. I would love to do that sometime as soon as you change the name to Falling Over Your Own Feet for Big Buddy.
We might be looking into that for you.
That would be great. Okay, Kristen, I want to start with you.
Sure.
You have an event coming up, and you're going to give us all the dates and the times and everything, and it's called the Day of the Mentor. Tell us what this is.
All right, so this is our 17th annual Day of the Mentor. And so the theme for this year is Leave Your Mark, Unlock Potential. And what we're doing is we recruit mentors from the community in different companies, organizations, and we match them with students that are at our schools that we're currently serving. And so what we do for the day is we have the mentors come to the event, which is going to be held at Cortana Mall this year. And we match them with their little buddies, and they bring their little buddies back to work with them. They're able to show their little buddies what they do, kind of give them an experience that they typically wouldn't be able to get. And then they're kind of just getting to know their little buddies. At 12 o'clock, they'll come back to Cortana Mall, where we will be serving lunch for them. So they'll have lunch together, get a chance to continue to get to know one another. And then we are also going to be doing an activity with them. After the activity, about 2 o'clock, everyone will be going their separate ways. The overall goal is to have mentors that connect with these children and want to continue mentoring them for the duration of their life. However, this event is a one-time event, so it's if you're thinking of becoming a mentor, if you ever thought of wanting to do it, this is the event that you want to come to, because it does give you one day to kind of understand what a mentor does year-round at the Big Buddy program. Can
we have the date and times and place one more time?
Absolutely. The date is October the 23rd, and we will be meeting at Cortana Mall, and the location for this is... it's the old Learners New York storefront, which is right next to the Virginia College entrance. And everyone, all the mentors will arrive for 8 o'clock. We'll do the brief orientation with them so they kind of understand what's going on throughout the day. They go to their workplace for 9 a.m., come back for 12, have lunch, do the activity, and then the activity ends, or the event ends, at 2 o'clock.
Now, the Day of the Mentor was established back in 1998. What was the big idea?
The big idea is the same idea that we have now. It's our biggest recruitment throughout the year. And so we're able to, the goal is to have 100 mentors participate. Last year, we surpassed that goal by about 27 mentors. So we're really excited about that. But we're hoping to get even more than that this year. And like I said, the initial goal is the same that it is now, is just to get more mentors involved with the Big Buddy program, because the overall picture is to change lives one child at a time. So
now, mentoring is a vital component in building resiliency against threats to a lot of components to our lives: economic, educational, and there's we're talking about poverty and crime and academic failure. Can you talk a little bit and address these problems, starting with poverty?
Absolutely. So just going into this, and not to say that all of the children that we serve are in poverty. However, the demographics do show that a lot of them are. And being able to expose these children to different opportunities, with mentoring throughout the year, we're able to do weekend activities where we're exposing them to different activities that they've never been able to do before or will never be able to do, just because of the way that, their lifestyles are. And so we're able to expose them to those things, and it's so much reward to be able to see the difference in children once they have a mentor. And as you said, academically, that's one of my favorite things to talk about with mentoring, is because we keep track of all of our little buddies' grades. And so one thing that we're able to prove is that a little buddy that has a mentor, their grades are increasing. So we take a little buddy, and before they get matched with a mentor, we have their grades, and we are able to see the success rate in their grades increasing just from having a mentor, someone that's positive in their lives. So
I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the questions that I was going to ask you is, how do you quantify your success?
That's just one of the smaller ways, but academically for sure, and then also socially, we're able to see that children are, when we first meet them, they may be shy and a little more reserved, or they may have behavior problems where they're acting out all the time. But then we start to see them throughout the week in activities with their mentors. We're able to notice a huge difference. Some children that didn't want to talk at all are now talking so much that, we're trying to get them to stop talking. And then children who had behavior problems, we're starting to see that those behavior problems are decreasing and even going away for most of the part.
One of the major problems that we have in our area, and I'm sure in most urban areas, is crime. Can you give us some statistics about crime and how the Big Buddy program and the Day of the Mentor is affecting that?
Well, crime is a huge ordeal anywhere, but especially in Louisiana. And one thing that we are striving for is to be able to keep that from happening. So being able to, one of the things that we do in in the Big Buddy program is after school programming. And so we're able to go into different schools who don't offer an after school program, and we're able to offer academic time, enrichment time, and then we also do a fun Friday with them. So these children are exposed to having these opportunities instead of going home and essentially getting into trouble because they have nothing to do, no supervision until their parents get home. So this is one way that we are able to decrease that potential crime rate.
What's the difference between providing an after-school program for one child and incarcerating that child, let's say over the course of a year? What's the difference over the course of a year between providing an after-school program, mentoring program for a child, and incarcerating that child for a year?
So the difference here is absolutely substantial, because if you have a child that's in an after-school program, especially with the Big Buddy program, because our after-school program is not as expensive as other after-school programs, or we even offer seasonal camps and summer programs. And so the parents are able to put their children into these programs at a discounted rate. And in comparison to criminal backgrounds, basically what we're looking at is people going to jail and them being incarcerated for years and years and years and years, and that's coming out of everybody's pocket, having to pay for them while they are incarcerated. But having them in the after-school program is allowing them to basically prevent that from happening.
Let me drop a couple of statistics on you here that I have in my notes.
Sure.
The cost to provide one youth with a caring adult role model for a year, $1,500. Compared to the cost of incarcerating one juvenile for a year, $88,000.
Absolutely.
You use the word substantial. That is substantial. And you're producing a solid citizen in the long run too, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Now we have with us in the studio a couple of young ladies, one of whom is a mentor with the Big Buddy program, and her name is Melanie, and a little buddy whose name is Jamie. And Melanie, I'd like to talk to you first.
Okay.
And first of all, tell us a little bit of your background, who you are, where you're from, and how you came to be where you are now.
Okay, my name is Melanie Johnson. I started with the Big Buddy program because I know the director, Ms. Galen Mack. And
where is she, by the way?
On her way.
Okay.
On her way.
She usually comes and talks to us.
Yes, so I know Miss Gay, and just working with Miss Gay on a personal basis, I just started to inquire about Big Buddy, and I just decided, okay, I like what I'm hearing, and I'll go ahead and I'll sign up. So that's what brought me to the Big Buddy program.
How long ago was that?
3 years. 3 years ago.
Would you mind if I asked how old you are?
Oh God, on the air.
Yeah, absolutely. What have you got to lose?
34.
34. Okay. Listen, Melanie, just so you know, I'm wearing socks older than you are. Okay? So that's how old I am. Be proud,
Okay.
young lady.
Thank you.
So, when you joined the Big Buddy program 3 years ago, what did you do? Did you jump right in and become a mentor?
I did. I actually jumped right in and I became a mentor.
Did you have to get training?
Yes, training was provided and I did enjoy it. I learned a lot because coming in, honestly, I did not know what to expect, what I was getting myself into. I just knew that I wanted to do something for the community. I wanted to give back and I wanted to, make an impact. So after talking with Ms. Gay and realizing, what Big Buddy offers, I realized, okay, this is something that I definitely want to get involved with.
What do they teach you when Big Buddy program trains you? What kind of stuff did you have to learn that you had no idea before?
How to listen to the little buddy, how to interact with parents, how to not come into this relationship with my little buddy trying to be a disciplinarian, trying to be another parent, but definitely just knowing my role and being a mentor, just being that person who is in leadership, just, as a leader to them. So I definitely learned what my role is and what I should do in my particular role.
In your 3 years with the Big Buddy program, how many little buddies have you had?
I've only had one, Miss Jamie.
And she's sitting right here to your right.
Sitting right here.
Hi, Jamie. You doing okay over there? Mm-hmm. Atta girl. How old are you?
15.
Now, has Melanie been your mentor for all these 3 years now?
Yes, sir.
What, if you can remember back that far, what did you do with your time before you had a mentor?
Well, I had another mentor, and I played basketball, I danced, and...
How are you doing in school before mentors? And how are you doing now?
I think my grades are getting better.
Oh, good. Well, we'll ask Melanie a little bit later on if that is in fact the case. So what do you guys do together?
We got to eat, we go to the mall, we go to her house, we go downtown, we be talking on the phone, just talk about school and then stuff like that.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have 3 sisters and 1 brother.
Melanie, let me ask you, what was Jamie like before you came into her life, and has she changed?
I definitely think Jamie has changed. When we first connected as Big Buddy, Little Buddy, I thought Jamie was, kind of quiet, shy, reserved, which is to be expected whenever you are meeting someone for the first time and then, told that this person is going to be your mentor in your life, and I've seen a change. She's definitely bubbly, talkative, not afraid to jump into activities and express herself when need be. So I think it's definitely a great positive impact that, since she and I have been together.
Has her schoolwork changed and her work habits?
I definitely would say yes. I'm not too sure what her grades were like when we first started our relationship as Big Buddy, Little Buddy. However, just a few weeks ago, she sent me a text message of her grades, and I was like, oh, whose grades are these? And she texts me back with a whole bunch of emojis like, mine, like, how dare you ask that question? But they were definitely great grades. I told her I was very proud of her. That was really, really good.
Do you think Jamie is learning from you?
I would think so, yes.
Do you think you're learning from her?
Absolutely.
In what way?
I'm learning from Jamie to just dare to be different, just to express myself. She loves to dance, and whenever she dances, she seems like she's just free. She just lets it all out on the dance floor. So I'm learning to find an activity that I enjoy where I can just leave it all there and just be free.
Mm-hmm. Do you find yourself from time to time being asked to talk to others about becoming a mentor?
Yes.
What do you tell them?
Whenever I am trying to recruit for the Big Buddy office, I am definitely telling them that it's a great opportunity, not only for them, but for the little buddy themselves. I personally enjoy it. Like I said, I never knew what to expect, but since having my connection with my little buddy, I enjoy it and I love the opportunity. So I always tell everyone the opportunity is grand. You will learn, but you're also impacting someone else. You're also helping someone else. You don't have to spend a lot of time throughout the month with your little buddy, because I know a lot of people think, I have to put so much time into this, or I have to be creative and do this and do that. But in actuality, the Big Buddy program, they offer weekend activities where you don't have to, try to think and be so creative. And the activities are really, really good activities. Some that you may not think that you would do yourself in your own spare time. So you have an opportunity to try something new and different with your little buddy. So I definitely encourage everyone to, give it a try.
Yeah. At what point does Jamie stop being your little buddy?
Oh, I guess whenever we both decide we no longer want to be in each other's lives, but she's become, like family to me.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And you never lose your family.
You never lose your family. So I definitely think that we were matched perfectly, to be honest. So we both have about the same personality. Mm-hmm. We, both girly girls. So that was good, because I was a little reserved. I'm like, oh my God, I don't like to sweat. I don't do dirt. I don't do bugs. Like, what am I going to be able to do with a little buddy? But we matched perfectly.
Do you think being a mentor is something that you want to continue to be?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Jamie and Melanie, thank you very much for joining us. And it's always nice to get a firsthand account of what something is like. And I think you've done a terrific job of that here with us this morning. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Lana Venable is an ExxonMobil spokesperson and a member of the Big Buddy board. Tell us how you got involved with the Big Buddy program.
Well, Exxon...
You're Lana, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Just know if you met me personally or ExxonMobil.
Both.
Both. Okay,
yeah.
Great. Well, actually, ExxonMobil's been involved with the Big Buddy program basically since its inception, and with Day of the Mentor certainly since it began many years ago, 17 years ago. So it's an event that we've been very tied to from the very beginning. It's important for our employees to be involved in something like this, because education is one of the key tenets of our volunteerism with ExxonMobil, and certainly being a mentor is important to kids, especially the kids that are involved in the Big Buddy program. It's so important, Scotty, for these children to have an opportunity to have a caring adult that they can look up to, and the Big Buddy Day of the Mentor event allows our employees to have just one day. It's a very small time commitment that has an incredible benefit for these kids. So we're able to take a very small part of our day to spend with these kids, to pair up for a day. We're able to bring them into our workplace, show them a little bit about what we do behind the storied gates of ExxonMobil. We're able to actually bring them into our facility. It takes a lot of math and science to work at a company like ExxonMobil in the industry. So we're able to take them in and show them a lot of what we do and how math and science are really important to have a career at a company like ExxonMobil, a career in industry. So we show them a little bit about the skills that it takes, the education that it takes to have a career in industry, and we try to make it fun. So we have a lot of chemistry and science demos and experiments that we show the kids while they're there with us. So it's a really natural tie-in for us. We're able to share the STEM messages, science, technology, engineering, and math with these kids while they're with us for the day. Ties back into our commitment to education in the community. And a lot of these kids really come from the neighborhoods that are near our plants, so that's important to us as well. So it's really just a win-win for us. The Big Buddy program is so important to Baton Rouge. It's a local organization, so they don't get funding from other sources like a lot of other organizations do, which of course there's nothing wrong with, but we're happy to be able to provide local support to this local organization. Our employees love being involved. It's just something that we've been honored to be a part of for 17 years, and an honor to be a sponsor of this event for that time, and we hope to continue the partnership for many, many years to come.
So you've been with it from the very beginning.
From the very beginning, absolutely.
You have any stories of little buddies who actually came to work for you?
Well, I don't know offhand that we have a story of a little buddy that came to work for us, but we do have a story of a proud executive director that we actually led down the path to come to work for Big Buddy. Actually, Gay Mack, who's the director of the Big Buddy program.
And is still not here, by the way.
she's on her way. But Gay, actually, this is sort of an aside, but it's sort of related. But we also have a program called the Community Summer Jobs Program, Scotty, where we fund summer internships for students, for college students. And several years ago, I won't say how many, but several years ago, Gay Mack, before she was Gay Mack, was one of those student interns. And she was an intern for the Big Buddy program under then Director Jim Geiser. And Gay really enjoyed that experience very much, decided she wanted to have a career in nonprofit, and today is now the proud executive director of the Big Buddy program through a grant funded by ExxonMobil. So that's just an example of how really these relationships are so important. You start building those bridges, making those connections, introducing kids, whether they're at a very young age like the little buddies or, the college age, in this case like Gay, but really exposing them to these kinds of experiences and opportunities so that they can see what's out there, and have an opportunity to be introduced to caring adults, professionals, and have a chance to see what these kinds of careers are like and figure out, hey, maybe that's something that I want to do one day and have a chance to change the world. And I think in Gay's case, she's certainly, I don't know if she's changing the whole world, but she's certainly changing the face of Baton Rouge and changing the lives of a lot of kids here in Baton Rouge through the Big Buddy program. And it's just something that's really a great, from myself personally, it's wonderful to be a part of and to see these kids and how they, in the beginning they start out and they're a little bit nervous and they're a little bit tentative and they show up in their Sunday best and they're all dressed up and they're all excited and they're the cutest things you've ever seen. And then they kind of, they're real shy and then they sort of get going and, you break the ice a little bit and the program's great about having icebreakers and ways to kind of to break through the kids and get them talking a little bit with their big buddies and by the end of the day, I mean, you just made a best friend and there's nobody that doesn't walk out of the place without multiple hugs and promises to keep in touch and of course the goal is that the buddies for a day become buddies for life and that they actually sign up for the program and become big buddies long term. And so that's the goal. And we have actually had several. I just found one just a few minutes ago. We were talking out in the hall before we came on. And I just found out that one of our big buddies from last year, I didn't realize had signed on to be a permanent big buddy. So we have several of those. And that's always great when you can find those folks that maybe didn't know about the program and they sign on for a day and realize, the spark is ignited and then they become a full-time big buddy and partner with a child for a whole year. And it just... that's how it gets started. And it's just a great program. It's a wonderful day. So I'd encourage anybody that's out there listening, to become involved with the Big Buddy program. This is a great way to do it. It's a very small time commitment. It's something that will touch your heart for one day. And if it does touch your heart, then I'd encourage you to to sign up for a year and be a big buddy for a child for a year and really impact that child's life. I mean, we have so many stories of employees that have done just that, and it's amazing. You know, you really give back to the child, but in the end, I think the child winds up giving back to you even more.
I was going to ask, what, you know, the little buddies learn so much from their mentors. What have you learned from them?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. You know, I think it's easy for us to take for granted all the things that we have been given. You know, life gets really, really busy. A lot of times we complain about a lot of things, the pace of life being too fast, you know, being stuck in traffic, not having enough time to do all the things we want to do. But we've all been given a lot of opportunities and have been blessed in a lot of ways. And I know our employees feel working for a great company like ExxonMobil and just having the opportunity to volunteer. I mean, the company allows us to take time off. And I know there are a lot of other businesses that are like-minded and allow the employees the opportunity to take time off during the workday to volunteer. So, you know, it's easy to take all that for granted, but there are a lot of kids and adults, for that matter, who don't have those opportunities. They may not have a job that even provides basic needs for them and for their families. So it really makes you take a step back and realize all the things that we're fortunate to have, you know, starting with the very basic needs, and, you know, including your health and shelter and food. And when you meet some of these kids and realize that while they struggle to have some of those basic needs, they also may not have a caring adult in their lives to just remind them on a daily basis that they're great kids and that they're loved and that they have an opportunity to be or do anything that they want in life. And that's what we're there to do. And it's just those very simple things that make you stop and realize the traffic's not so bad, and maybe it's okay that we're a little bit busy. It just makes you want to stop and say, hey, everything's not so bad. Look at all the struggles that this child has in his or her life, and I'm able to make everything else in my life stop just for a day, just for an hour, just for a few minutes, and I'm able to impact the life of this child. But even more importantly, this child's made me realize what my priorities should be, and that's a really powerful thing.
Well said. Thank you, Lana. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but when you talk about Big Buddy, you light up.
Well, thank you. It's a great program, and Scotty, if I could just encourage everybody out there, the work that these guys do. I'm going to brag on Kristen and Gay and the team, but it's amazing the work that this organization does. And I'll just say again that, you know, they are a local organization. They're not supported by a large national organization. It's grassroots, ground up. And it's only done through the support of people in this community, from, you know, volunteer time, generosity of, you know, time, talent, and treasure. But, you know, they can't do it all by themselves. It really takes the hearts of people in this community to support the great work that Big Buddy does. So I just encourage everybody out there that has a heart for children, for supporting, you know, education, mentoring, helping kids reach their full potential, because we do have a lot of challenges in our community and our state and our nation, and it takes everyone stepping up, making a difference, giving what you can to impact that. And Big Buddy is really doing its part and then some to help make those changes. And so I encourage everybody that has an interest in impacting that to give Big Buddy a chance and see what they have to offer and see if there's a role that they can play as well.
Very good. We're talking this morning about the Big Buddy program. Michael Tipton is the president of the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation. And Michael, tell us how you got involved with the Big Buddy program.
Sure. It's a pleasure to be here with you all and to talk about Big Buddy today. So Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana has been involved with Big Buddy for a number of years, and specifically with Gay Mack as one of our 2012 Angel Award winners. We have an award that we've had for more than 20 years, highlighting outstanding individuals who do incredible work with kids across the state. And in 2012, we highlighted the work of Gay Mack and the Big Buddy program, and that's ultimately what brings us here today with an exciting announcement that we hope will continue to do very good things for the Big Buddy program.
All right. So what is your involvement here in 2015?
Yeah, so we keep in touch with our previous Angel Award winners. We brought them back for professional development. We try and keep them connected to each other to take good ideas that are happening in schools and in nonprofit programs and in different parts of the state and network together so that people can build off of the energies of each other. And now that we've reached our 20th anniversary of the Angel Awards, our board was trying to think of an appropriate way to highlight all that's happened over the last 20 years in these incredible people. And they came up with the idea of what we called an Angels of Change grant. And the concept was effectively that we would invest $50,000 in up to 20 previous Angel Award winners' organizations. We have about 160 Angel Award winners across the state, and we said, identify the programs and the innovations that are doing really incredible things for kids. Put that to paper. Tell us how you would use some dollars to invest to take your efforts even more forward, and write that down in an application and tell us about it. And we had more than 60 applications from previous Angel Award winners across the state, GayMac being one of those, with what we thought was a really innovative idea to bring together resources and best practices and information that would ultimately create a youth development resource center here in the Baton Rouge area so that when volunteers, when child advocates, when folks who were looking for information about kids and what it meant to be a strong resource needed information, that they could come to one place. And that application was put forward by Gay and also endorsed by Nancy Zito, who was here in the Baton Rouge area and also one of our Angel Award winners. And we had a panel that reviewed it and decided that of all the applications that were out there, this was one of the strongest. And so the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana Foundation is proud to be able to invest $50,000 in the Big Buddy program to build this youth development resource center here in the Baton Rouge area.
That's terrific. Now, will you be taking part in the Day of the Mentor?
We will be there. We're actually going to do a check presentation announcing this formally then. But when I was chatting with Gay, she said, we should help get the word out and point out that this is a really exciting thing to be able to point out to potential mentors and volunteers in the future that you're not going to come in cold. You're not having to make things up on your own. There will be resources there for you to look at best practices, to look at what's been done before, to read up on what it means to be a really effective mentor. And we hope that those resources and best practices, combined with the incredible generosity of so many people in the Baton Rouge area, can do wonderful things for kids that are being mentored through the Big Buddy program.
Yeah. We certainly appreciate your participation. Michael, anything else you need to share with us?
We're just proud of our previous Angel Award winners. As I mentioned, there are 160 of them across the state, a number of which are here in the Baton Rouge area. Over the coming weeks, we're going to be announcing, as I mentioned earlier, 20 Angel Award winners who are receiving $50,000 grants. A couple more to come here in the Baton Rouge area, but October 23rd, the Day of the Mentor, we'll be there to announce the Youth Development Resource Center. Really proud of Big Buddy, of GayMac, of Nancy Zito, who nominated this program, and we think it's a really smart, innovative idea and one that we hope other people will pay attention to across the state, aggregate those resources, learn from best practices, and do good things for kids.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Kristen, let me talk to you again. Can you give us a little bit of the history of the Big Buddy program?
Sure. So Big Buddy program was actually founded in 1979, and it started out as a psychology project at LSU.
Oh, really?
Right. And so what they were doing was just going out into the community and just kind of mentoring children in the community around the LSU campus, and they were going to Christ the King there to kind of just assembly the mentoring relationships, just trying to do smaller activities with them and things like that. Since then, we have grown to what we are now, and it is no longer just a project out of LSU. It is now an actual nonprofit organization that is striving to make differences in lives of children.
How many children are you impacting over the course of the year? And how many mentors do you have?
Currently with mentors, because the numbers fluctuate throughout the year, we keep roughly about, give or take 100 mentors. And that also depends on how many mentors are coming in, how many mentors are becoming traditional, and things like that. So
what do you mean becoming traditional?
as they become traditional, what happens is when they first come into the program, they are coming into a guided match, which means that we are planning the activities for them, we being Big Buddy program. We plan all of the activities for them. So we structure everything. We do this for a couple of reasons. A, because the mentor and the little buddy are just getting to know each other, and so it's something new for them. So we want to make them feel comfortable. But also so that myself and the mentor coordinators can kind of keep an eye on things, make sure that the relationships are progressing. And if we start to notice different things, then we're able to step in and say, hey, let's try doing this, so that we're, making a positive impact on the mentoring relationship. And so we try to basically keep the relationship from going south. And so once we feel comfortable with that, the mentors do a second training, which is the traditional training. Once they have completed the traditional training and the guardians of the children are on board as well, then they are able to go traditional. This means that they're able to do things one-on-one. So they're still invited to all of the Big Buddy activities on the weekends. However, they're able to do things on their own. So if we're going to Area 51, then they decide they don't want to go to Area 51, they can go to the movies instead. But if you're in a guided pair, you're not allowed to do things with your little buddy without the mentoring department there until you are traditional.
Okay. Let's talk about the scope of your services and the results that you're getting. Mentoring, we've been talking about. Elementary programs I want to talk about. And the Level Up Teen programs as well.
Sure. And so, like I said earlier, mentoring is core to the Big Buddy program. And so as we've been talking, we match adults with children in the community. And so we do a lot of recruiting for the actual mentors. Day of the Mentor is our biggest recruitment event. And then just from that, we're just always out in the community looking for new mentors, asking our current mentors to kind of put the word out as well, and constantly advertising for this. So once they become matched, we do the weekend activities with them. We do Little Buddy Club, where we go into the elementary schools and we're able to sit down and speak with our little buddies at those schools, kind of figure out from them without their mentors there how their relationship's going, if they see any problems or if they have any concerns. We're also able to do activities with them. As a mentoring group, they're able to do an activity that the other children at the schools are not able to do, just to kind of make them feel a little special, something that's kind of counterproductive to them being in school all day. They kind of get out of that element and get to do another project. And we also do workplace mentoring with our middle schools, where we are able to pick them up after school and we bring them to different organizations so that they, again, try to get some kind of exposure to things that they wouldn't typically get exposure to. In September, we were able to bring our kids to Izzo's, and so they got a tour of Izzo's, and they were able to get food, like order their food on the line after they learned about all of the food and enjoyed the food. And I would say probably about 90% of the children had no idea what Izzo's even was. I remember one child actually asking for an autograph because he remembered seeing Izzo's on TV. So that's just an example of, trying to expose them to things that they typically wouldn't get. And then our elementary program is where we get the majority of our children for mentoring. Mm-hmm. So we serve in 7 different elementary schools right now. And of those 7 schools, like I mentioned earlier, they did not have an after-school program. And so Big Buddy was able to go in and implement this after-school program so that, again, they were not going home and having nothing to do. These kids have academic days where they're working on tutoring, they're helping them with homework, and then they have enrichment days where they get to do different enrichments, again, that they typically wouldn't be able to do. Some of the enrichments that they're offering this semester that, quite honestly, I've never heard of. One of them is pickleball. Have you heard of that?
Actually, yes, I have, but never from somebody as young as you.
Well, so pickleball is one of the activities that they get to do. And so I know that I don't know anything about it, so these kids have to be enjoying themselves. But they have other enrichments like gardening and fashion and Lego building. So just different things, that they wouldn't normally get to do. And then on Fridays, we have what's called Fun Fridays at the after-school programs. And so it's exactly what it sounds like. It's fun, and it's Friday. And so they have different people come in and do presentations for them, different group activities. One of the organizations we've partnered with is Our Lady of the Lake, the college over there. And so we have a group of service learning students that are putting together activities. And on Fun Fridays, they're going to come out and do these activities with the children. So they'll be doing things like measuring your heart rate before you do a 3-legged race and then measuring your heart rate afterwards, so things that, again, they wouldn't normally do. And then Level Up program, that is our teen program. It's a workforce development program. So this is where we are in the high school, in the high schools, and we're able to teach the children about applying for jobs, applying for college, how to dress for a job, doing resumes, different grants and TOPS opportunities that they can get for college. They are also able to expose them to pre-college courses. So some of these children are able to go into BRCC and take actual pre-college courses. So it's really an awesome opportunity for our high school students because it's really preparing them for the real world outside of high school.
Let's talk a little bit about training for mentors. And we talked with Melanie a little bit about that. When somebody approaches you and says, I think I would like to be a mentor, seriously, what happens then?
All right, so we actually follow the Elements of Effective Practice of Mentoring, which is a national basic training guideline.
Okay.
And so what we do is the first process is to fill out an application. The applications are found on our website, and you can also email, get an application, or you can come in and ask for an application, however you want to do it. Once we receive the email, it comes directly to me, and I send an email back letting you know when our orientation dates are. So you sign up for an orientation date. Once you come to the orientation, we go over, like Melanie was saying, everything about what it is to be a mentor. And so I pretty much lay everything out there so that they know the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, everything about it, because we want them to be able to commit, not because they feel like this is something they want to do. We want them to commit because this is really what they want to do. And so the training, the initial training is basically to get them familiar with what we're doing with mentoring. And the biggest aspect of it is we want to make sure that they are in it for the long haul. We want to make sure that they are going to commit to it, because the worst thing that you can do is to become a mentor and this just disappear. That's the worst thing you can do. And so with that training, that's what we do. We also do a background check. And so once the background check comes back, we are able to start preparing them to be matched with their little buddy. We ask them to come to one of our weekend activities so they kind of get exposure to what we do on the weekends. And then at the match ceremony, they meet their little buddy. I'm sorry. Let me step back.
Sure.
We do interview the mentors one-on-one to kind of get their personality and things like that, what they like, what they don't like. We also do the same thing with the parents and the little buddies. And so we sit down as a unit and we kind of talk about, okay, this child has these likes and dislikes, and so does this mentor. I think this would be a good match. And so we use that as a process to match them. The next step is the match ceremony, which is where they meet their little buddies for the first time. We do an actual ceremony and give them certificates, go over all the rules and regulations and everything, and then they are actually matched. Once they're matched is when they start their relationship and they're able to do the weekend activities and things like that. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the next set of training is the traditional training, and that's when they would do their one-on-one relationship.
Now, during the course of the interview, does the potential mentor get to express certain likes and dislikes, like, I really can't handle anybody under the age of 12 or
Yes,
whatever?
Absolutely. At the at the actual orientation, we do have them fill out a mentor preference form. On that preference form, we have the age or grade level that you're interested in mentoring. We also have different things as far as what you may be equipped to mentor. So let's say you on the list, one of them is ADHD. So if you feel that you are okay to mentor a child with ADHD, you would check that off. And we have other things on there, such as abuse or sexual assault or anything like that. If you check that off saying that you know how to deal with that, then we know that we need to look for a child, or not look for a child, but if we find a child that has that, then we know that that would be a best case scenario match.
Now, what about little buddies? How do you identify them, and what are their for example, what's the age limit for a little buddy?
Okay, so with the little buddies, we typically go to the schools that we serve, the 7 schools that we serve, and just like the mentors and Day of the Mentor being the biggest push for Big Buddies, we are also doing the same thing for Little Buddies. So the Little Buddies that participate in Day of the Mentor are children that have been suggested to us by our site managers that they feel these children would benefit from having a mentor. And so we have them participate in the Day of the Mentor, and then from there they are on our waiting list so that we can go ahead and start matching all of them. But we typically will get calls from parents just saying that they need a mentor for their child, or sometimes we'll get calls from social workers that are trying to help their families, and then again from like principals or teachers from the schools. And with that, the Little Buddies also do a Little Buddy interview. And so we're able to kind of talk to them one-on-one, and we also do an interview with the parents to kind of get a perspective from the parents of what the parent is looking for their child.
Do the parents ever get a little on edge that perhaps somebody is intruding on their space?
I would want to say yes. However, we don't push this on anyone. This is not something that we say, somebody told me that your child needs a mentor and we're going to get them a mentor. We talk to the parent. We let them know everything about the program. If the parent does not feel comfortable, we stop. Because if the parent's not comfortable and they're not willing to cooperate with allowing them to go to weekend activities and things like that, then there's no reason to move any further. However, we do continue to reach out to those people so that we make sure that we can continue to let them know what exactly it is that the program's trying to do. And I'll be honest, I don't really think that we have that many people that have said, I don't want my child to have a mentor.
That's good. I want to talk a little bit about funding. And let's start with the fact that you are a United Way agency.
Absolutely. And so United Way is one of our funders. And so they are core to our funding for sure. However, we do a lot of different events throughout the year that are fundraising events. And so one of them is Burger Bash. And Burger Bash we do in February every year. And we do
at Catholic High School.
It is.
I'm there every year.
Oh, are you really?
Well, yeah.
Great. So then you know all about it. I'll let you talk. No, I'm just joking.
I'll ask the questions around here.
All right. So Burger Bash is it's also an annual event, and it's in February of every year. And the men's club at Catholic High, they come together and they make burgers for us. We have our kids come out. We invite as many people as we can, but we have our kids come out. And the best part about it is that the kids from the different schools, they actually get to use those enrichments I was telling you about with the after school program, and they get to perform for the people in the audience. And so we do pre-sales for the burgers, and we do a drive-through where you can, pre-order online and come and pick up your burger. Or you can actually come in and purchase your burger. But that's one of our biggest fundraisers. And then overall, our biggest fundraiser of the year is Dancing for Big Buddy. So, Dancing for Big Buddy, Michael Tipton.
Grab the mic, Mike, because we're coming to you in a minute here.
So, yes, Dancing for Big Buddy is our biggest annual fundraiser, and it is one of the most amazing events. I've been with Big Buddy for many, many years. However, last year was my first time actually participating in Dancing for Big Buddy.
You danced?
I did not, but you know what? I have put my name on the list to be nominated, and they're just not going for it.
Okay.
I have tried.
Well, Michael Tipton, you did dance.
I did dance. Yes,
Tell us
that's
about
true.
your experience.
It was a wonderful experience.
Oh, good.
So, in my prior work to coming to Blue Cross, I was the executive director of Teach for America, and I told various folks in that capacity I was proud of what I saw Big Buddy and various other programs doing, and said, look, as a fellow nonprofit, I want to help in whatever way that I can, and if me getting up on stage and embarrassing myself in front of a lot of people will bring people in, I am happy to do so.
Now, did you volunteer or were you drafted?
Combination of both. I told that to a Big Buddy board member a number of years ago, and I think
they believed you.
Yeah, and they followed up and got me to dance. And Chris Cangelosi, a dancer here in town, was my star dance partner and did a wonderful job whipping me into shape. And we did a nice little production and hopefully raised some good funds for Big Buddy. It was a lot of fun. Folks can find the video online if they want to see it. May or may not involve a purple sparkling shirt and a pair of pants that had a rip-off patch to it. So, if that doesn't get your attention, come to Dancing for Big Buddy and or go find the videos.
There you go.
All right. When is Dancing for Big Buddy?
Dancing for Big Buddy this year, it is in April.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have to get back with you on the exact date.
We got time.
We got plenty of time.
We got time. Okay. Listen, but we only have a few more minutes, and before we wrap things up, Kristen, I want to go over the 17th Annual Day of the Mentor. So let's take it from the top.
All right. So 17th Annual Day of the Mentor, October the 23rd, will take place at Cortana Mall. The mentors will arrive at 8 a.m. Children will also arrive at 8 a.m. Children will start to eat breakfast, and the mentors will go through a short orientation to kind of get them familiar with what exactly is going to be happening throughout the day. They'll also be able to have breakfast. We'll match them with their little buddies. We do take pictures of the matches before they go to the workplace. Once they leave for the workplace, they take the children there and they are able to show them what they do every day to expose them to different opportunities. They come back for lunch at 12 o'clock. We do an activity with them. We hand out their pictures that they had so that they have something to take back with them and remember that day. And then everybody goes their separate ways.
Now, this is open to the general public, correct?
Absolutely.
What's in it for John Q. Public if he or she comes to the 17th Annual Day of the Mentor?
So, what we are looking for is we're looking for sponsors as well as people to participate as mentors for Day of the Mentor. And so with our sponsors, we have different sponsorship packets where people are able to review those as a company and sign on as a company. With that, there's different incentives that are offered for each of those packages. All of those packages are available on our website, as well as if you call, I can always email that information over to you or give it to you over the phone, however you would prefer. We're also looking for, just in general, mentors for the day. One option with the sponsorship packet is our last level, which is unlocking partnership. That's what the level is called. You can actually participate as a company. So if you send more than five or more employees to participate in Day of the Mentor, you're still getting recognition as a sponsor for the event. And all of the incentives are listed there for you on the sponsorship packet. And then you're able to expose 5 of your own employees to what happens at Big Buddy. So.
All right. Very good. Now, Big Buddy program is heavily volunteer driven.
Absolutely.
And I'm certain that there's somebody who's listening this morning who would like to get involved in one way or another. If not being a mentor, then doing something else for a worthy cause like Big Buddy program. What kind of folks do you need?
We need everybody. We have volunteers that start off in high school. We have mentors that are in their 80s. Mm-hmm. So there's no specific person that we're looking for. We're looking for anybody that wants to share their time and, be able to give back to their community by helping with lives of children.
Do you have any training programs or anything like that coming up in the near future?
We sure do. After Day of the Mentor, we are actually going to have 3 different orientation dates. The first one will be the following week of Day of the Mentor. We'll have the first one, which is at the end of October. And then we will have 2 the first week of November. And so those are going to be the orientations that follow Day of the Mentor. The hopes for that is that the mentors that participated in Day of the Mentor are the ones that are participating in that orientation to actually become a long-term mentor. However, it is open to anyone that did not participate in Day of the Mentor that does want to come and learn about Day of the Mentor. Okay,
now a couple of times you mentioned your website. Can we have that?
Sure. The website is www.bigbuddyprogram.org. And again, all of the information for Day of the Mentor, how to volunteer in general, how to become a mentor, all of that's listed on there. You can apply for any of those online, as well as all of the background information that we discussed today. All of that is also on the website.
And your phone number, please?
Phone number is 225-388-9737. And if you are inquiring about becoming a mentor or becoming a participant in Day of the Mentor, all you need to do is simply ask for someone in the mentoring department and we'll get you set up.
Fantastic. The Day of the Mentor, Friday, October the 23rd from the Big Buddy program. My guests this morning, and my thanks to everybody, Kristen Lozana and Lana Venable, Michael Tipton, also Mentor Melanie and little buddy James.